Hi everyone, Tuesday the 2nd of September is our monthly day of prayer, and I'd like to share a theme for the day and also some of the slots that we've got lined up for it as well. I was chatting with someone earlier about who was involved with running a big event in the UK this summer, and they were sharing how it had been a real challenge and there had been some real difficulties around in the lead up to it, but in the event itself there was something really pure about the offering that it was how they described it. And I thought that was inspired me really in terms of thinking about a theme for us as we have our day of prayer on Tuesday. And I thought it would be great to pray out of Romans chapter 12. And that's where Paul describes us offering our bodies as living sacrifices. And September's a time for people who are at school or education, university. The new term starts, the new year starts, and it's often a coming together for people, isn't it, after the summertime? And so as we get into this new, slightly sort of fresh start for the year, in a lot of different settings, offering our bodies to God afresh, I think is a great way to start, and could be a theme that you sit in perhaps through the day, whether you're praying just on your own in your workplace or home or wherever, or if you're in one of the prayer slots that are organised. So I'll just elaborate a little bit more on that. So Romans chapter 11, the end of it, from verse 33 to 36, Paul is really saying kind of just how immense God is, and sort of unfathomable, unsearchable, sort of beyond us God is. Oh, the depth of the riches of the wisdom and knowledge of God, how unsearchable his judgments and his paths are beyond tracing out. Who has known the mind of the Lord, or who has even been his counselor? Who has ever given to God that God should repay them? For from him and through him and for him are all things. To him be glory forever. God is so much greater, so immense. And then he goes on in chapter 12, therefore I urge you, brothers and sisters, in view of God's mercy, to offer your bodies as living sacrifices, holy and pleasing to God. This is your true and proper act of worship. So I thought we could have that as a theme, giving our lives afresh to God, our work, our places of education, our communities, our relationships, offering all of those things back to God and giving them over to him. May my work, the work of my hands, the work of my mind, the work of my phone, my computer, the relationships that I have, may these all be led by and come under the authority and the way of Jesus, offering all of these things. And then it goes on, verse 2 in chapter 12, do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. So the world so often operates, I think where the world here is described is referring to doing life without God. That's what it means by the world. When we don't have a relationship with God and we're not doing life in a way that is an offering to God, then we've just got to really fend for ourselves, haven't we? And so we have to make the best of the brokenness within which we live, by sort of winning people over in our own effort, or probably circumventing some of God's design in order to try and make life work for us. We have to scramble and fight and grab in a way that's different to the way that we can live when we can trust our life to God and hand our life over to God. So being transformed by the renewing of your mind comes from sitting in the teachings of Jesus and the way of Jesus, and as we do that, as we live out Christ's lifestyle, way of seeing, way of being, then our whole lives are transformed. So there's a suggestion for how you could begin your prayers or focus your prayers on Tuesday the 2nd, from Romans chapter 12, offering your bodies, brothers and sisters, as living sacrifices to God. So as we're getting started, we've only got a few lead slots this week. We've got 6:15 until 7 in the morning. Simon and Becca are hosting youth prayers on Zoom, and there are details below for that Zoom link. And then our normal Silas hosts the prayer day based in Hope Chapel. Is actually going to be a bit of a field trip to Adam's house this week, so they're not going to be meeting in Hope. We'll be back in Hope Chapel for the 7th of October for our next monthly day of prayer. And then I don't think there are other led slots through the day that I'm aware of. But then Wednesday evening is organic worship, so 7:30 till 9:30 here at Hope Chapel. Organic worship will be meeting, and that's everyone's welcome to come. It's a space where you can come and just have an hour or 2 hours as you wish, meeting with God in that environment of God's presence in worship. So those are the sort of three led slots throughout for the prayer day. That's the 6:15 prayer for young people. There's the prayer morning, which Silas leads, which is going to be off-site, and you can contact Silas or one of the team there if you'd like to be part of that field trip. And then there's organic worship here, 7:30 till 9:30 on Wednesday.